Really thankful to Dr. Manoj Chawla and Purvi Chawla for giving me this opportunity to share my thought on how we can use artificial intelligence in medical research, literature review and paper writing. So we all know that we want to do speed up everything, and that rapidness, compressed timeline, that actually tell us why we should shift from the traditional design, which is actually time consuming, more literature dependent and expertise heavy. So that is why we need artificial intelligence, which is a smarter solution, and of course it increases the reproducibility. And when we talk about research, the first step is hypothesis generation, and how we can generate hypothesis with the help of artificial intelligence. We will talk about little bit about that. Though we in this particular slide I had mentioned about BioGPT or Perplexity AI, I had not been using or expertise in that thing, but I use ChatGPT, ChatGPT 4, and now we all have ChatGPT 5. So when we talk about ChatGPT, the prompt is very important. How we are telling ChatGPT, communicating with ChatGPT, that is very important. And this is an example of prompt by which we want to prepare one research hypothesis. Here we had mentioned we want to explore the effect of religious fasting and on different health outcomes among the populations who are suffering from type 2 diabetes. And also we had mentioned few important points. In the hypothesis, it should specify the relationship between fasting practices, glycemic control, and possible cardiovascular metabolic outcome. Now we can see here, there are 4 types of hypothesis. One is on Ramadan fasting, one was on Hindu intermittent fasting, one is on Lent fasting for Christians, and now cross religious comparative. But what is very interesting, these all the responses we got from ChatGPT. But one thing I want to highlight here, the note that also given by the ChatGPT. So after hypothesis, we need to do the research, and for research the design is extremely important. And they had mentioned about we can do it by prospective observational study, by randomized control trial or retrospective study. But what is again important, I just want to highlight how much ChatGPT become advanced. In RCT, they had clearly mentioned where culturally appropriate. This terminology is important because being a member and sometimes secretary and chairperson of certain ethics committee, we had faced lot of debate with this theological point of view, and this is very critical, and this is good that ChatGPT also can identify this type of crises. So again, we want to do it in a more formal way, more detailed way. So we had modified the prompt here, and you can see we want all those 4 hypotheses in one. So we want to compare all those fasting practices between Muslim, Hindu and Christian populations, and also we had mentioned critically that we want to understand the effect of Ramadan fasting, which increase the short-term risk of hypoglycemia or worsen the glycemic variability or not, or how the effect of intermittent fasting observed by Hindu or Lent fasting by Christian can improve long-term metabolic outcome. So again, we had mentioned this clearly that please propose measurable outcomes, possible confounders, and culturally sensitive methodologies to test this hypothesis. Now, why this prompt is little bit different than the previous one? Because we had clearly mentioned the population now. Then we had also mentioned independent variable here. What are the dependent variables? Like outcomes of short-term glycemic control, long-term metabolic or cardiovascular outcome, that also we had mentioned. And also we tell them to design certain add-ons like measurable outcomes with confounders and specific methods. Now we can find a modified research hypothesis here. We can see in the modified research hypothesis what we can get: the religious fasting practices exert heterogeneous effect on type 2 diabetes outcome across different faith group. So also we can see that when we talk about long-term metabolic outcome, now they had mentioned about HbA1c, lipid profiles and insulin sensitivity, and how it could lower the cardiovascular risk compared to non-fasting control. With this research hypothesis, also ChatGPT tells us about the study design. You can see here it could be a multi-center prospective observational study. Age adult, here they had mentioned 30 to 70. Here it is our expertise that need to be involved. Why 30 to 70? We can make it from 18, above 18. That is not a problem. So the artificial intelligence need human intelligence. So we need to modify them little bit in a more robust way. So that is the thing what we want to highlight. It is not only the artificial intelligence that matters. Your intelligence is crucial. For an example, here you can see regarding the cardiovascular risk markers. They had mentioned blood pressure, HSCRP, Framingham risk score. But we instead of Framingham risk score, as we are doing this particular study in our country, we may think about score 2. So this is the area where we need to add our intelligence with artificial intelligence. But overall, what we need to appreciate, they will give a good structure and we can modify that structure further. So there are multiple tools we can use. Again, I use generally ChatGPT, but apart from that we have BioGPT, Perplexity, Elicit, which is a very good tool to do systematic review and protocol guidance. So as of now, what we understand, artificial intelligence accelerates and enriches research design. But it is not a replacement. It is a powerful assistant. We need to choose tools based on domain depth and task. Coming to another important area, because to do research you have to do review, and systematic review is the most important reviews, and there are certain steps we can see in systematic review meta-analysis, starting from literature search to evidence synthesis and reporting. So while doing literature search, the AI tool, even the ChatGPT, will suggest relevant mesh term. And I think many of us know that now the ChatGPTs, they are interfaces with PubMed and Embase APIs. So it is a faster, more comprehensive retrieval. And when we talk about data extraction mode, different NLP tools we have which extract the outcomes, interventions and sample size accurately, and they will do the table for us, do the PDF mining. So ultimately it will be a speed up structured data capture from all full text articles. When we talk about bias assessment, which is a very important area for systematic review meta-analysis, we can use this artificial intelligence tools like Probust AI, which standardizes risk evaluation with suggestion justification. So this is one type of automated Cochrane risk of bias flagging. Coming to evidence synthesis and reporting, again the different AI tools, the systematic review meta-analysis, if I want to talk about, ChatGPT also can draft the summaries, and they will guide us how to draw, how to prepare the Prisma, and also writing support for results section. So ultimately we will get reporting in an accelerated way. But again and again, human review is very important. So artificial intelligence support each stage of SRMA, but expert validation ensures the scientific rigor. So we could use ChatGPT, we could use Search Refiner, because they will also give us the idea of different boolean or mesh strings, and they will categorize into different type of picot format: population, intervention, control and outcome. They will tell us about the design of different available researches, and then we will understand what is the effect. So it is a faster iteration of question framing, improve comprehensiveness of search strategies, reduce the risk of missing key studies. And when we talk about the difficulties with using this type of tools, of course, it should be reviewed again by the domain experts, because may overlook contextual nuances or rare study terms, and always it is important to validate the inclusion criteria. I am giving you a small example here. We want to tell the ChatGPT, like, please generate a PICO framework for evaluating anti-VEGF versus laser therapy in diabetes retinopathy. So what are the AI output here? We can get PICO was perfect.
Sir, how many slides we have more?
How much time left? It is finished. Okay, I shall end up.
Probably he is the master. He is the master. Probably.
No, I am learning only. So the thing is that just want to finish here. You can check the when we use ChatGPT, they give the search string like here in the last line. Okay, please note it. But as an expert, we got help from SRMA expert, and it is clearly visible that this search string is not appropriate. So we prepare the actual search string now. Again, with the help of ChatGPT only, you will get how many studies here? In the search results, you can see 150 results, 56 results. But if we use the previous terminology, previous Boolean string, then how many study? 0. So this is why we need artificial intelligence with human intelligence. As the time is less, I can. Thank you very much.